Several candidates are competing to change that this fall. Bernie Moreno joins us now. He's one of them. Welcome, Mr. Moreno. So how does Sherrod Brown hang on? Ohio is a red state, and Brown definitely ain't a red senator. So how does he win?
Well, he comes by an election season and pretends he's a moderate, and the media, especially all over Ohio, cover for him. He's never been up against somebody who was well-resourced. He's never been up against somebody who had an actual contrast between him and the candidate. And most importantly, he's never been up where he's at the top of the ticket versus President Trump. So Sherrod Brown's got to overcome his attachment to Biden, his terrible record. People are going to vote with a pocketbook in November, and this is going to be the time we finally retire him. He's been running for public office since Richard Nixon was president.
Yeah, I have to think about that. I think I was a kid then. Wow, that's been a long time. All right, politics is weird, which is one reason I'm glad that I'm not still in it. You have the support of former President Trump. You have the support of Congressman Jimmy Jordan. And according to news reports, you have the support of Chuck Schumer, at least in the fact that they're running ads to boost you because they think you'll be easier to beat in the fall. So what is going on there? And is it true that the Democrats are trying to boost you in some game of chess that they're playing?
Well, they're not very good at playing anything. I have no idea. The reality is I have also Senator J.D. Vance behind me. They thought in 2016, as you know, that Hillary Clinton was inevitable. Nobody could beat her. President Trump beat him. So the reality is they always think outsiders are easier to beat because they come from a culture where the only thing that you should do is be a politician your whole life. So when they look at people like me, outsider business person, conservative, maybe they're making the wrong calculus again. I don't know. Here's what I do know is we're going to take out Sherrod Brown. He has no chance against me. We're going to have the right resources. We're going to campaign really hard. I've sold all of my businesses, so this is my focus all day, every day.
All right, I looked at your website. Your platform seems to begin with education. In your judgment, what is the role of the federal government on the issue of education? I mean, most conservatives think it's primarily a state issue, but is there a role for a U.S. senator on that important topic of education?
Yeah, I think what we have to do is let local communities, we have to let parents in local communities make the educational choices for their kids. Trey, that means that we have to fulfill Ronald Reagan's promise to end the Department of Education. We have to do that once and for all. I think we will do that. I think the will exists if we put in the right conservatives that, by the way, understand the Constitution. There is no constitutional role for the federal government in education. Like, we know that to be true. So as Republicans, we got to start keeping our promises and doing the things that we campaign on. That starts with getting rid of the Department of Education.
GOP primaries can sometimes have sharp elbows. You are not alone on the primary ballot. Any concern at all that there'll be an ability to coalesce in the fall, no matter who the nominee is, and take on Sherrod Brown?
No, on March 20th, the day after our primary is Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'll be a fully united, dysfunctional family. That's what we'll do. We're going to bring the party together. That's what I can uniquely do as a business guy. I have the Chamber of Commerce understands who I am, but I'm also somebody who understands the grassroots. I listen to them. I've campaigned hard for the last year. I'll continue to listen to them. I'm the one that uniquely can bring the party together. One of my opponents has no chance of bringing the party together. In fact, he's even said that only 16 counties out of the 88 in Ohio matter. In reality, I've got the broadest support throughout the entire state, and that's going to be my singular focus on March 20th, is to bring the entirety of the Republican Party together.
Bernie Moreno trying to send Sherrod Brown to his retirement this fall. And in the process, maybe control of the Senate hangs in the balance. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
You got it. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.